Maybe it was 2022.
Okay. Was that April
I know
Fool's
2022 felt so long and so short at the same time, but it was Pibby.
Was Pibby the April Fool's thing, or was it something else?
It was the April Fool's thing. Because it was Pibby. No, it was Pibby. Pibby was April Fool's in 2022, and then 2021 was Adult Swim for Kids, where they redubbed a Rick and Morty episode and an Aqua Teen episode and stuff with children actors.
Well, that sounds like something that would have been a fun thing to be around for. But today we are around for the AWKWARDCast. Bear in mind, Keyframe, wonder about random dribbles. This was on a scale for transitions into the main show.
That was actually a pretty good transition.
I mean, there was a certain bit of effort in. I'm doing proper ones too rarely, so that I'm still struggling through it. But yeah, overall, I would say a solid B on a tier chart.
What's like the A tier transition?
Or the S tier transition? I don't know. An A tier, what would be an A tier transition like?
I mean, like,
it builds on top of what gets said last. It is actually witty, which is the part I struggle the most with. The basing it on what just was said, kind of, sometimes, yeah. The witty part. And then, of course,
I would also
spot on delivery.
My reaction. I think my reaction goes into it, because there's been a lot of times where I get, like, to me, the S tier transitions are, it's usually, I'm really into a subject and Max finds the perfect moment to swoop in and bring us back to reality, and I get really upset.
Thanks for ruining my immersion.
Yeah. 10
also,
needs to go that way by Key. A good segue by Key. Oh, really? I literally, by this definition, I literally can't make a perfect a 10 out of 10 segue.
Well, now Odie and Wolfhead, because they're the most unbiased of our viewers, has to make a tier list of all of our transitions.
I mean, don't.
What do you mean by
this.
Unbiased?
I mean, Odie made the super cut of all of you reading out all the names of the name. Was it only for yourself, or was it for you and for Wolf, Odie?
It was. I think it was for Odie and Wolf. No, it's because, like, I know that the rest of our viewers, like Lieb and Enigma and Denim, they would be biased in. They would probably like the things that I'm annoyed by. Wolfhead and Odie are just like, no, this is funny. It doesn't matter who's the butt end of the joke. It's still funny. There's been plenty of times where they've laughed at Max's despair and my despair. It's egalitarian.
Yeah, equal opportunity misanthropy.
Equal opportunity misery.
Exactly. I like that. That sounds like a great, like, emo band name. Like, hey, we're equal opportunity misery.
Oh,
There's a lot of E's in there.
Oh, Wolf is going to make a tier list video of all our tier list videos, which at this point are probably just 4 or 5 3 idiots, right? We haven't done too many tier lists.
How many tier lists have we done on 3 idiots? That's a great question.
We had the 3 in one, the 3 small ones in one, which was Stardew, and 2 other ones.
Yeah.
We had one which was...
You only care about the one that you did. We had Disney Villains. That was a good one.
No, but this was just...
No,
this was us. Yeah, right. You had Disney Princesses with just Lauren.
With just Lauren, and then you and I had Amphibia characters. But then we had Disney Villains. We did films of... I think we did all the films that all 3 of us have seen collectively in 2021.
Oh yeah, that sounds also familiar. Yeah.
We need to do one for all the films we've seen in 2022. But I feel like that would be a longer list as well.
But you know what we also have?
What?
A guest! Hi, Michael! Welcome to the show!
See, that's an S tier transition.
It's hard. It's weird to wave like... I have to wave like this.
Why? Oh, because you're
he's
below
down there.
Yeah, he's cut off in the... Oh, yeah. Hi! Hey, stop looking down on me, dude. Rude.
I will look down on you.
Oi! Anyways, yes, once again with us. I lost track. How many times is it now? 3, 4?
4?
4.
4, I think.
But nevertheless,
I know I have a playlist. I think it's 4.
But nevertheless, as established in the pre-show or even before the pre-show, no, in the pre-show, there are those Twitch channels that get 4,000 new subscribers per episode. And today might be that for the AWKWARDCast. So, Michael, I have to ask you once again, please, for all those new followers we get today. Who are you? What do you do? And why should people care?
I'm a voice actor. I've worked with Pymations and Smash Bits. I'm trying. I feel like I should have this memorized by now, but I still don't. I've worked with a bunch of people. I worked with a lot of people. I've done like Satan in Suction Cup Man 3. I've been a few things for Pymations, also like Roadhog. I really should have this memorized by now, but I don't. I have a podcast called Who's On Next, which I'm hoping to bring back this year because I recently got a lot of contact information for a lot of people, which sounds a lot more ominous than it actually is.
When doxing becomes a career.
That's just being an interviewer. That is.
I recently came in possession of a lot of contacts.
Well.
There was a data leak, you see, and I was the bucket.
And I took advantage of the situation.
But Michael, you've had some stuff recently happen. You voiced in a thing recently.
Yeah, it's an indie short called Stowaway. It's only like 2-3 minutes, and I play the secondary lead of the short. And I think they'd been working on it for like 9 months, I think.
Is it publicly available?
It is. It's on YouTube.
Can you drop the link? Then I can.
Yeah,
put
let me
it
get
in
the
the
link
description
for you.
down below. Thank you.
Yeah, it just came out yesterday. Let me.
So it's new. It's fresh.
Yeah, only the hot stuff.
It's like the first. It's like the first new thing I've done in quite a while because I have been very demotivated to audition the last year because I've moved like 3 times, and it has depressed me a lot. It's the other reason I also haven't been doing my podcast lately.
But look at you. You're a secondary lead in a full-on short.
Yeah,
that's animated.
Yeah.
Well, what else have you been up to?
Not much. I think we did a podcast right when I moved to this house. I think we did.
Sounds vaguely like a thing that happened.
Yeah, there's the
character.
Like showing the first 10 seconds, but then you have to watch.
I'm trying to fill out your week because we recently got rid of me and Max talking about our lives. And
you know what's more important? The guest. Fuck our lives.
Basically.
The guest and I found more fun in talking about media.
Well, I mean, my birthday's tomorrow. So,
so
that was kind of really eerie that you messaged me like the day before my birthday.
Well, everyone in the chat say happy birthday to Michael. You are forced to now.
Yeah.
I am that much closer to being 30, and that scares me.
And for us it was like we will never get him this young again. So now or never.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny because you think about your age every so often, but like this was the first time I had like sat down because like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be 27. I'm gonna be 27, and it wasn't until like 2 weeks ago that it actually hit me. It was like 3 a.m. and I was just sitting on my bed reading, and it just hit me, and I was like, I'm like 3 years away from being 30. Oh no! Like that actually hit me. Like that hit me so much harder than it should have.
Michael.
Like I did not like that.
I want to be 30. I feel like I should be well into my 30s at this point. Then I wake up and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Every day I wake up and I'm not 30.
Yeah. Every day I look at my passport and it says my birthday. It's like, it's still 97.
Like, fuck, that's not right.
1.5 years and I am 40.
Hey, you want to? I could say something that will make us all feel collectively old, just together in unification.
Sure.
People who were born in 2005 will become 18 this year.
Think about that.
I don't like that.
I like thinking about how old movies are and then telling people, and then they get super mad. Like Finding Nemo turns 20 this year.
Fuck! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Wait.
No,
okay,
you want to know?
So what year was Finding Nemo released?
2003.
Okay, films from. This is what we're doing with the week segment.
Oh, I've done. Oh, trust me, I do this all the time. You know what turns 20 next year?
Oh, please tell.
Incredibles and the SpongeBob movie.
Shut the fuck up! I don't like you anymore. You're not my friend.
Oh, the chat is not happy with you either.
Oh god, 2000. So next year, the films that will turn 20: Shrek 2, Spider-Man 2, Incredibles, fucking Shark Tale. Shark Tale is 20. in two years, it'll be able to drink. Fucking The Day After Tomorrow. I don't like the Harry Potter prison. Wait, what year did the first Harry Potter movie come out?
2001. Or 2002. It came out. Wait. Okay, Chamber of Secrets came out 2000.
Sorcerer's Stone, right?
Yeah, Chamber of Secrets came out 2002. So yeah, Sorcerer's Stone was 2001.
Oh no, that means that how many years ago was 9/11?
22.
In like 3 years, the first Harry Potter movie is going to be 25. I don't like that.
The first Pokemon movie is going to be 25 next year.
I don't need you to talk anymore, Michael.
I saw the first Harry Potter movie in cinema.
Oh god, I'm trying now. My favorite thing is to look up films from when I was born, because that means that they're my age, and I don't like that. Like, I take that personally, So this year, the things that are as old as me: Men in Black, Titanic, Lost World, Jurassic Park. Ew, why is that the second highest starting film of?
It was like one of the highest grossing films that year.
Ew. The Fifth Element. Liar, Liar. Hercules, the Disney one. No, I don't like this.
Iron Giant turns 25 this year.
Okay, I guess time to make you feel young.
No, I'm looking up your birth year.
I was
don't
about
worry.
to say Gremlins, Nightmare on Elm Street. What else?
Ghostbusters.
Terminator.
84 or 83?
84.
Okay, I was gonna say Ghostbusters was 84.
Also,
Footloose.
But yeah. Oh, no wonder I like Max so much. He shares a birth with Ghostbusters, the best movie. Him and Egon basically share a birthday.
This is why I thought about 1998 being 20 with the 25 years, because I was like, oh yeah, because the first movie I saw in theaters turns 25.
What is
Bugs
that?
Life.
Ew. No.
Bugs Life, Ants, and Prince of Egypt all turn 25.
Noise.
I don't like that. I don't like you anymore.
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
No, shut up. Shut up. That movie is still on VHS, and the entirety of the 90s was 10 years ago.
There was no DVD. There is no DVD.
There is no DVD. Everything was VHS and then suddenly turned into streaming services. Like, I just... Oh, God, I hate...
Did you hear about that Red Letter Media thing recently with the
what they wanted to increase the price of a VHS tape on eBay so they could sell it for charity? So they
sold it for charity. So now that is the highest selling VHS tape of all time. But there was a dude on Twitter who was like throwing a big stink about it, and it got a lot of attention because they destroy all the Nuki VHS tapes in that video with a wood chipper.
Yeah,
They destroy all of them in that video.
They Fargoed a bunch of VHS tapes.
Yeah, and
Max's
what happened was there was a guy who threw a big shit fit on Twitter, and it got a lot of attention, where he was saying, like, these guys were just doing this for attention, and they destroyed all of these VHS tapes. I care about preservation of physical media. And Jay responded to that, saying, VHS tapes are literally the most outdated physical media. Like, they are literally dying before they're even used. Like,
well, yeah, it's not like fucking vinyl where it will make a resurgence. No one's waiting for the resurgence of a VHS tape.
Like, VHS was always an outdated method because VHS tapes only last like 15 years.
So fragile.
Like people forget that there were higher quality home media ways to watch things, but they weren't as convenient as VHS
Laserdisc.
Betamax, but all these things were higher quality than a VHS tape, but a VHS tape was just simpler to have. But oh god, fucking King Kong will be able to vote.
But yeah, just saying, Odie, if you would have sent this to me earlier, this might have had a shot at becoming out of the week.
What?
King Kong will be able to vote.
Are these the emotes from my server?
Maybe? I'm not even sure. They might be.
They are, because the Kermit with the gun is peeking over the live side. Why is all the Kermit ones in the bottom tier?
Because they're all cursed.
Because he's gross. I don't like him.
What, you don't like the one where I photoshopped Kermit's face onto Max's pet ferret?
And people didn't notice right away?
Yeah, because apparently Kermit shares the face of a ferret. I love that one. And I love the response that Max sent me, which is him picking up Himbo and being like, you have to live outside now. But, let's see. Damn right they are. But anyways, I think we can move on to media because that's what... See, this is why I like that we changed the week segment, because it goes into weird tangents like this. It's a very Cox and Krendor thing to do. But Michael, you are our special little boy. So why don't you tell us about your media this week? Talk to us.
Well, I haven't finished it yet, but me and some friends for the last like week and a half have been binging a lot of Aqua Teen.
Mm-hmm.
And I had watched, I think, like the first season like 7 years ago, and I had watched like episodes like every so often on HBO or on Adult Swim or just on Adult Swim's website. But I had like never sat down and watched the whole thing. And now that I'm like sitting down and watching it, I think we're like halfway through. I have not laughed this hard.
Are you at the point where they started changing the name of the show every season?
No, we're not there. We're at the season where it starts with that weird mini arc with Carl and the vampire. Like
because the fucking landlord who is a vampire kidnapped them because they don't want to pay rent because there's a gas leak in the house.
Well, what I thought, because when we were at the first episode, we were confused and we're like, do we need to watch like the movie or something? Because we hadn't watched it yet. So we stopped and watched the movie. And we were like, well, that didn't answer any of our questions.
I mean, that's the thing you have to accept with Aqua Teen.
I know.
Will get answered.
Also,
but I was thinking, because when I looked at when that season came out, that was the year gap when the movie came out, because they were doing all the time on the movie. So I just assumed like, oh, maybe the movie ends on some note where they end up getting kidnapped or something. And I'm like, no, that's just how the season starts. They're just not kidnapped. There.
Also, before you go into explaining what it is all about for those who actually don't know, I believe I have seen like 1.5 episodes in total. I just want to point out the beautiful Mike Krozowski moment that the meatball has.
Meatwad has. Poor Meatwad.
I guess I can be nice.
God made me in his image.
Okay. See how far I have to go out to make him actually visible.
There we go. Look at him and tell me there's a God.
But tell us about this media.
Yes, please do.
It's hard to because there's no cohesion.
Yeah.
It's very hard to talk about this.
I mean,
But
it's a stoner's paradise of a show.
Oh, here's like you would think with Stoner's Paradise, it would have to be something where it wouldn't be super funny on its own. Like you'd need something to watch. No, oh my god, I have been crying laughing at some of these episodes. Like it throws so much of you with one joke sometimes. Sometimes they'll throw like 3 jokes into one joke. Like it is shockingly layered for a show this stupid. Like
it really is. It's very unequivocal Adult Swim.
It is
like this is
like
this
chaos.
This is the show that I think is perfect for people who found C-Lab 2021 to be too much. Like it.
Like I will admit
it's ridiculous.
I will admit I have trouble watching Space Ghost Coast to Coast sometimes because it's like it can be like too dry sometimes, like to a point where I almost don't get the joke with some of the episodes.
This one's moist enough.
It is called Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, number 1 in the hood.
Right there in the title.
Yeah, no, I again, it's 3 guys living in a house. They're all food based.
I was about to say guys is already a stretch.
They're all food based, and they live next to a man named Carl, who is the funniest character on the show.
Why are you dancing? You're poor.
What are you doing that for? You're just gonna die.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
Oh my god, we have now made that like a catchphrase in our friend group. It don't matter. None of this matters.
It has such good dialogue for being such a dumb show.
No, and
like,
it's funny because it knows when to be quiet, and whenever it does that, it's a joke when it's quiet. Like it's constantly loud, but it's also constantly quiet, and even it being quiet is a joke a lot of the time. Like
one of my favorite moments is fucking Shake's like, "Oh, I just get my dental work on all the no, you don't." Like Frylock just immediately shutting down every stupid thing he says.
Just an exchange, and like they stop talking because Shake's annoyed for like 3 seconds, and that'll be funny. Is them just staring at each other for 3 seconds. It's
so dumb. It's fantastic.
It's dumb. It's dumb. But it's like smart with its stupidity. Like that's the weirdest thing about it. Like it's not annoyingly stupid.
It's like a Cheech and Chong or Harold, like the first Harold and Kumar when it comes to being like scientifically stupid. And like you could, because I have never watched Harold and Kumar or Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke inebriated. I still find them funny, you know? So it just works. Like you just fit. It's like, oh, so this is what the stoners see. Like it's like a glimpse into their world.
Like there is things. I mean, the show's over 24 years old. So there's gonna be things that don't age. It pretty consistently
hand banana.
Banana. Banana frustrates me. Because that episode makes me laugh so hard, but it is so horrible.
So,
the whole episode.
Sexual assault trigger warning. The episode Hand Banana is basically the Meatwad wants a dog. So Frylock gets like a
what is it, like a dog?
Like a dog genetic cloning kit, and it uses like a piece of Shake's DNA from his hand, which is why it looks like.
See, for the longest time, I thought it was a dick. That's why I was so confused.
No, it's his hand. That's why he's called Hand Banana.
Dick.
It's obsessed with assaulting Carl, and only
nobody
Carl
can hear it talk but him. No,
I can see why you thought it was a dick.
And it just constantly goes tonight. You. and it's not funny, but it's also hilarious.
Oh no, that's the thing. I was so conflicted watching it. All of us were. There were 4 of us, and the whole time I was watching it, I'm like, I hate laughing at this, but it's still funny. It's so terrible.
I mean, it's like in Euro Trip where like the brother and sister make out with each other while they're high, or fucking Fred Armisen, Italian man, taking off his pants in the cart full of teenagers. It's be like, excuse me. It's like, in theory, this is not funny. This is a terrible situation.
No, it's
but
like
I'm laughing really hard.
It's like a drawn together joke. Like, because there's a lot of shit in Drawn Together. The amount of time I rewatched Drawn Together last year, which, by the way, never binge that show. It is tiring to binge that show. Never binge it. Like, that is a show you have to watch, like, 2 episodes at a time, not 6, like me and a friend did.
That show has some of the funniest jokes of all time.
It is
some of the unfunniest moments of all time.
The amount of times in that show where I actually went, oh, God. Like, just the amount of times where I'm like,
I'm a terrible person. That's the thing. Aqua Teen won't make you feel like a terrible person for laughing at the jokes. Drawn Together will. The amount of times that I have laughed at that fucking the Captain Hero throwing a car at a special needs kid because he thinks it's Magneto, I hate myself for how much I find that funny.
The funniest episode to me is still. We'll go back to Aqua Teen in a bit, but the funniest episode to me in that entire show is the episode where he loses his powers and he's in a wheelchair.
Oh,
and
Christopher Reeves.
Just straight up a reference to Christopher Reeve because he went paralyzed in a horse accident. And
but what's just so we don't get too far.
The funniest thing in that entire episode, well, the main plot is Foxy Love is now acting like a 1930s black stereotype character.
Are you trying to get one of the ferrets, Max?
What gives this away?
And the fact that you're backing away and not paying attention to our guest.
It's my birthday.
He's talking about Drawn Together during his Aqua Teen Hunger Force segment. I'm perfectly aware.
Which ferret are you trying to coax over?
The one where I have a more realistic chance with food.
Oh, the chunky one?
Yeah, but he found the food bowl. But technically, I have paste, but he doesn't know.
So do they just walk around the house?
Yep.
Yeah, they're free roaming.
Okay. Rocket! Nope, he's at the food bowl. He misses out! He misses out on paste! Beautiful paste!
But yeah, so what is your favorite episode of Aqua Teen?
Can I bet the one favorite bit in Drawn Together before I go
Yes,
back to
do your favorite bit from Drawn Together.
So, again, the episode with him in the wheelchair, the funniest part in that ever in the whole show, in my opinion, is when he's in the wheelchair and they're in, the Arctic. I forget what, it's to find Foxy because she got kidnapped. And it just, he opens the door and it cuts to a staircase. And he just goes, no! And then it zooms out more. And and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And every time they zoom out, he just goes, no! And it's like a 15-second
what the humor
joke.
of millennials are.
but my favorite episode of Drawn Together, God, I don't even know. Because again, I've watched over 70 episodes. I don't even know what the favorite is.
But yeah, so who do you think would like Aqua Teen and who do you think wouldn't? Because I think I know quite a few people who would probably watch Aqua Teen and be like,
I think
this ran for how long?
The first season is kind of rough compared to the rest of the show. Because I think, I don't mean rough in offensive humor. I mean rough as in it's not nearly as funny as the other seasons because it's clearly them trying to get their footing because there's just a lot of jokes that drag way too long in the first season. But I'd say if you like Space Ghost, or honestly most Adult Swim comedy, you'd probably find Aqua Teen really funny because it's super easy to binge. All the episodes are 10 minutes. It's very easy to binge watch.
Are you trying to get Himbo?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I don't know. What would you like? Who do you think? Because I think like most people that if you find most Adult Swim shows funny, you'll find it funny.
I think everyone will have one Aqua Teen episode that they find really funny, even if they're not a fan of Aqua Teen.
I wouldn't even say one. I'd say like 7 because there's over 150 episodes.
I know, but I'm saying that Aqua Teen has. I mean, like one of my favorite jokes from Aqua Teen is the fucking Star Wars Wookiee episode. Mostly because of the joke that the entire episode is scored like a Star Wars movie. So
I don't think I've gotten to that one yet.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. But, I don't know. It's just the thing of, like, if you do not like absurdity, I don't think it's the show for you, because it gets dumb. If you have a pet peeve with episodes that don't resolve itself.
Oh my god, you're gonna hate it.
Like, look, I'm just saying, if you got annoyed by the crab people in South Park, are we in the pre-show again?
What? How does he do that?
You hit the pre-show button.
What did he do?
He climbed over. He climbed over my over the desk away again, and I covered the keyboard with my hands, and still, I don't know how the ferrets manage to hit keys and shortcuts. I don't. I'm gonna ruin your show.
That's Himbo's speaking voices. Meet one.
It's gonna ruin your show.
Sounds fitting.
But
I think, but like, I'm just saying, if you don't like crab people, like things that just kind of
happen.
When things just happen, if that's something that annoys you, you're not gonna like.
There is so many episodes where shit just happens, like with no warning or no context, or episodes just stop with one of my
favorite episodes is like because they clone shit all the time, so that way they have like TVs and stuff because Shake keeps breaking them. There just becomes a cursed TV where the TV only shows like Frylock murdering people, and it keeps showing that they can put money in the cloner and make themselves rich. And then suddenly George Washington appears. And then the episode...
Oh, is that the one where he's like made of... The George Washington made of money?
Made of dollar bills.
Yeah.
And the episode just ends with Frylock shooting him with like a sawed-off shotgun, being like, man, we should have cloned 20s. Jackson wouldn't have given a shit. And then credits.
It just ends.
There's no end. Like, it just kind of stops. There's no endings, there's stoppings.
Aqua Teen episodes
hilarious.
Aqua Teen episodes end when the joke has run out. When they know the joke is over, basically.
Exactly. And before we move on, I do want to point out, Wolfhead is right. Aqua Teen is one of the best sponsored episodes of anything with the Boost Mobile.
Yes.
Because I guess Boost Mobile and Adult Swim had like a marketing partnership at the time, and Boost Mobile, the entire episode is just Shake dressed in all like hip hop urban attire with a giant Boost Mobile phone, just going, "Where you at, dog?" And everyone getting so fucking annoyed by him that they go to the depths of hell to make the phone die. And it's so, I mean, my favorite line from it is like, "Come on, dog, you like this, right?" Because it's Shake talking to Frylock, and he's like, "You're black. I mean, you sound black.
Yeah.
Where are you from?" Like, it's.
Doesn't he say? What makes you think I'm black or something like that? I think he.
He just stares at him silently the entire. That's why Frylock is like my second favorite character, because his whole responses to things is just staring. I mean, my favorite character is Shake, but that's just because Shake is the person I long to be unhinged.
Carl to me is the funniest character on the show. Like, he's the one that consistently makes me like cry laughing every time he's on screen, even if it's just like 5 seconds.
Yeah. But okay, we've talked about Aqua Teen long enough. It's on HBO Max. Go watch it if you wanna, or watch it illegally. I don't care. It don't matter. None of this matters.
None of this matters.
All right, Max.
Me?
Why don't you do your movie?
Real quick. I can do that. I hope
we can keep a positivity train rolling before I get painfully negative.
I would say so. And in the spirit of positivity, did you ever had the dream where your teeth fall out?
Yes.
And I was
People
talking to
have
him
it?
about this during the pre-show. I've
know
never
that-
heard of it until Inside Out. I'd never heard of that nightmare.
It went over my head in Inside Out. And then it got addressed in my media with a little bit more of a spotlight. And I was like, I have never heard of this. And Denim was like, oh, I had this dream before. And I'm like, it's a thing. Apparently,
the same
it's
with
a thing that some people have.
Same with falling, like a falling sensation.
Yeah, but now I wonder because I have so not heard of it in German culture, if it's a cultural thing, but if it is a cultural thing, I wonder what induces a primal fear of teeth falling out in specific cultures.
Teeth falling out are associated with loss and important life changes. This dream could indicate that you're dealing with some kind of loss, like an abrupt end to a relationship or a job change. Well, yeah, because your teeth falling out, you have no control over that. You're a helpless little baby.
Yeah, but still, I wonder because I have not heard of it, and Michael. But then again, Michael has neither. So how?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you don't suffer from any form of anxiety. Usually, the teeth falling out dreams are based in anxiety.
Huh.
Privileged.
I have crippling anxiety, and I've never had that.
Privileged little white boy.
Either way, Slumberland. So, Slumberland, it took us a disturbing amount of time until we realized that, oh, and the girl's name is Nemo. It is referencing Nemo in Slumberland.
Land. Little Nemo.
Wait, is it an adaptation or is it just a reference?
I mean, there she is in a bed with long, cranky legs.
It's called Slumberland.
Oh, okay.
It
is directly based off. It is directly based off the comic strip.
Yeah,
well, sometimes they have names that are just like references. I didn't know if it was actually like, hey, we're actually gonna try to make a Little Nemo movie again.
Yeah. And there you see the legs, the very iconic Nemo legs. But yeah, we might or might not have watched this movie because some of
Jason
the members
Momoa's
of this household might or might not have a thing for people with goat horns. So Slumberland.
I mean,
After explaining the reasoning behind it. Also, hey, Paleo. Teeth falling out dream last year.
We got a lot of people here.
But yeah, having not... I mean, here's the thing. I'm not familiar with the Nemo story myself directly. So I cannot judge it on the way of a reimagination, adaptation, whatever it is.
I don't know how many people nowadays are super familiar with Little Nemo. Because to be fair,
Which
it's
is
over
fascinating
100. It's
because
over 100 years old.
Yeah, but it's fascinating because it was such like a. It was a big thing, so it's very fascinating to see something that kind of got lost to the sands of time.
The guy who made it is like one of the most influential artists of the 20th century, because the guy not only made Little Nemo, he made Gertie the Dinosaur, which was like the first massively popular animated short.
That doesn't ring any bell. To me personally, but with Nemo, I recall seeing something within that IP, knowing about it as a child. Maybe it was a Nintendo game or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there was an NES game.
Little Nemo had a very, very well-known NES game.
Oh, then
which was based on the animated movie from the same time.
Could be, buddy. I have not seen an actual or experienced it directly, but I have seen imagery of it, so I was able to be like, oh, now that you pointed out. I personally got confused because Nemo, the girl, no real spoiler there, is the daughter of a lighthouse keeper. So oceanic themes are very strong in that movie. And when I hear Nemo, I'm thinking of Captain Nemo in his boat underwater. So I was like, yeah, Nemo because water. But no, water and or Slumberland. So all the references. So what to say about it? Movie visually... they had fun. They had absolute fun with it. I mean, we saw it earlier in the trailer. I guess I can also go back a little bit. like where they have this entire world made out of flowers or butterflies. They have this I would say, pretty neat looking CGI pig. They had some other scenes where the CGI was not that on par, but still visually very pleasing, a very touching story at the end of the day. So there were moments where we were like, it makes me feel things. No, stop it. But overall, I would say here's the thing. There is a certain thing to be revealed, to be figured out within the movie, and a certain mystery. And I was like, I figured it out. I just figured it out, and I was so fucking proud of myself. And I was like, yeah, movie. I'm just too old. I've seen too many movies. I know my tropes. You can't trick. Wait, 5 minutes later in the movie, they just reveal it openly, and I'm like, great, I was only 5 minutes faster than the movie. I thought it was a big reveal for the end. So it's also this kind of as a point that it doesn't necessarily talk down to the audience. It actually is like, yeah, around this time people figure it out. Let's just be open about it. And so yeah, I would say visually pleasing movie. Writing wise, it's not a grand epic. I mean, I don't think it sets out to be. So as what it is, it's a perfectly done family movie with some touching moments, with some fun moments, nice visuals, and I guess. Is there an explicit moral? No, I don't think it sinks to the point where there is a good moral. It teaches lessons about how to how to handle loss, basically. So there's a certain aspect like this in there.
You're the most positive review I've seen of this movie so far.
Really?
I when it came out, it got pretty mixed reception, I think.
I mean, one of this reviews that I'm reading is the movie forsakes the spirit of the comic strips in favor of senseless spectacle.
Well, I don't know the comic strip, so once again...
yeah, there you go, so...
I guess it's similar to Wednesday last week. If you are here to enjoy something paying homage to original IP, don't. If you are able to see it completely as its own, yeah. It's
how is Wednesday? Because I've heard very mixed things from some people. I know some loved it and some didn't.
Just to give a very quick elevator pitch before telling you to watch last week's episode, it's when it comes to the Addams IP, it's not a very faithful adaptation. It has certain moments that feel very Addams, and where you're like, okay, now that's Addams. Otherwise, it's not. It might have been done. It might have done better by being its original thing. Otherwise, it was an interesting supernatural mystery.
Warning for very poorly handled conversion.
Oh yeah. Okay, this was literally one scene. This was one.
I know, but it's still. I'm just saying, like.
But you see,
it's still.
Yeah, it left an impression. It left an impression, so that I needed to mention it last week. So, oh boy, yeah, it had some grave missteps. Otherwise, visually, it's a Tim Burton. Of course, it is great to look at. So
because he's wanted to make an Addams Family thing for years. Because I think originally he was doing an animated movie, and then it got scrapped.
But yeah,
let me just get the official trailer for Velma.
Oh yeah, I already have one up.
Who would like Slumberland and who won't?
I guess if you are faithful, if a fan of the original IP and only like faithful adaptations or adaptations that are truer to the spirits than this one, it's probably not for you. If you look for anything too deep, probably also not. It's I would say a nice spectacle for a younger demographic with a little bit of a story, a lesson about coping in it. So yeah, if you have something you want to watch with either because you just like watching lighter stories, something more fantastical, then I guess it's good. And if you want to watch something with younger relatives or something, again, I wouldn't praise it, but I didn't have any issues with it, and I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, cool.
And I guess with this surprisingly positive note, let's move on.
Okay, guys, I saw Velma. It's not good. Okay, I want to be...
Chrissy, you like everything Scooby-Doo.
Like, okay.
That was verbal, like, dude, like that was like actual disgust.
Here's the thing. I know people who like this show, and good for them. I'm glad they have something they can enjoy.
You know people who like Seven Deadly Sins, so...
That's true. That is also true.
The anime?
But like,
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I know a lot of people that like it.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
But like, okay, here's the thing. I will give the show this. The show, like Velma, is a very nice looking show. The artist did a very good job. It's animated quite well at points. It's
disgustingly well animated.
It's one of the better looking like adult animated shows. I like the character designs. I think a lot of their character designs are really cute and would be great in its own show. And the vocal performances are quite good. Like, especially Norville's, because they don't call him Shaggy in the show, they call him Norville. And Fred's performance. I mean, no shock to Fred's performance, because it's the guy who plays Dennis in It's Always Sunny.
Not Joel Kinnaman? I forget his name.
No, Glenn. Glenn
I know
Howardson.
it's like Kinner or something. I know he has like a bit of a long... Glenn...
Yeah, and then...
something.
Glenn Howardson.
Glenn Howardson.
Yeah. And then, like, I mean, all the vocal performances are good. I mean, Constance Wu's Daphne is great. Sam Richardson as Norville's good. The only person who I'm like, it's an okay performance is Mindy herself, but that's just because I'm going to go into the bad things now. It's not Velma. Like, okay, I'm going to talk about this show as two separate ways, a Scooby adaptation and its own thing, and it fails at both. As a Scooby adaptation, these are just characters cosplaying as the characters. It almost feels like they have an active disdain for Scooby-Doo the entire time.
There were some people who I saw analyzing it who said the show feels a lot more like a high school murder show, and they got cold feet and decided to like change it during production to Scooby-Doo so it would do better.
Yeah, but like it takes away like most of the aspects that just make the characters, because you can still have like the intrinsic traits of the characters and still make them your own. Like Daphne's the popular girl beginning and end. Velma's not even smart in this show.
Huh.
No, because there's literal scenes where she's just like, Norville, I don't want to do my math homework with you. Just email me your answers like you always do. Which implies that Shaggy is the smart one. And, like, Velma's whole thing is, oh, I'm solving mysteries because my mom is missing because of a mystery I'm solving. And she's not even that good at solving mysteries. People just say that she is.
Yeah, it's self-insert. It's just a self-insert of Mindy Kaling, basically, which is everything she's ever made.
The only thing that she really does is that she just says things without a filter, and it's like, oh, you think you're so smart because of that. And it's like... Eh. Also, I feel so fucking bad for Fred in this show. Everyone is like, oh, they made Shaggy like a simp beta male. Whatever. Shaggy's the only character with redeemable traits. I'm going to call him Shaggy. He's not Norville. Shut the fuck up. Shaggy, Norville is the only one with redeeming values. Fred. Oh my god.
Baby man.
That's the thing. His whole thing is that he's such a privileged white boy that his body, in and of itself, has not yet decided to go through puberty. Like, completely. They talk about his penis size so many times in the first two episodes.
Aren't these characters
they are
also
15!
Like 15, 16?
For a minute or so, you had me going like, who wants to watch this show? Me, because I need to see this train wreck. Now I'm like, The first red
No,
flag.
I know.
Fuck you, Max. We're watching the show together.
Isn't in like the first episode? Isn't in like the first episode? Because I saw like 2 people talk about this. I'm like, oh, they're all supposed to be like 15, 16. Isn't there like a fucking like, shower scene with one of the characters?
The first real scene of the show is a shower scene in the girls' locker room
with 15, 16-year-old characters.
Sorry, I'm currently playing Persona 4, where there is an idol character who basically just turned 16, and she gets treated in a way. I watch too much Japanese products. I'm numb.
I was gonna say, well, that's also Japan. That's also
it's
Japan.
Still not okay. You
of course not. That is animation. So I
gotta
just
say that's
also,
like
not.
Also, I can't believe I'm gonna say this in defense of Big Mouth.
This is
The art style of Big Mouth is made to make every character look completely unappealing.
Mm-hmm.
This show actually has appealing character designs.
In the
So
sense
when
of
you have
Big
a
Mouth, it's ugly. Good point.
Well, at least then when you see naked fucking the teenagers, you're not like, oh, hot. Like, you look at this and you're like, oh, jailbait. Like, and it's not even jailbait because they're fucking 15. Like, that's not jailbait. That's straight up jail. And
I was like, how is this not jailbait? Ah, it's jail.
Wasn't it like after, if I remember correctly, wasn't it like after Zombie Island they like were consistently like college age or like after college?
Or they were
the
seniors.
Creeps could be perverted.
Because I know it. I think in like Mystery Inc. they're like 20.
The first four of those like movies that were animated by the studio that did the Batman animated series, so Zombie Island, Witches and Ghosts, Alien Invaders, and Siren Chase. They're all like nearing their 30s. Daphne had a whole ass TV show that she hosted. Yeah. Like, and Velma owned a bookstore. So like they're adults, but that's not the point. I'm going to harp on this for one more second because you know what? They're animated characters. They're played by adults. Whatever, you know. I don't want to get into the argument of the moral ambiguity of animated teenage characters, but like they're in high school. You could have made them seniors, and like that way you could have
or freshmen in college.
Yeah, but if you want to stick with the fucking high school thing, because TV shows seem to be allergic to college, you could have made them seniors. You could have made them seniors because that way they're 18. It would still be weird, but at least it would fit the logic of like most coming-of-age American Pie movies. Anyways. No, one more thing about that. Because this actually transitions into how this is just not a good show. You put the Scooby thing aside. It's not good. It's just the thing of like, because people are like, oh, but it's a parody of like CW shows and teen dramas and stuff like that. And they have fan service and all that, like Riverdale and things like that. Here's the thing that people made fun of with Dawson's Creek and then eventually just became a staple with these shows is that you had obviously adult actors playing teenagers. That's why it's less weird. There's a reason the trope is called Dawson's Casting, because you have fucking 30-year-olds playing teenagers. And that's why Clone High was parodying that. That's why it works here. Not when you have very explicitly teenagery looking. It just feels weird. But anyways, speaking of this, it's not a good satire. The biggest offense I've seen people have of this show, and I respect my friends' opinions, but I have a deferring, is that they keep saying, oh, this is supposed to satirize like CW shows like Riverdale and all this stuff and how they take IPs and make them gritty and all that. You could still make it a good show.
Or funny.
Yeah, that's the thing. This show's not funny. Their version of jokes is we're going to state a trope and then we're going to do the trope. Like, they're like literal pieces of dialogue in this show is like fucking Daphne and Velma are fighting and their faces are close together. And then there's a random background character who's like, you know what? If this was a TV show romantic comedy, you two would be totally kissing right now. It's like, shut up. Like, that's the thing. This show doesn't shut up. Like, I just feel like it every line is either exposition or it's stating a trope from another show. And it's like, is this supposed to be funny? Like, there's a part where Daphne's just like, if I learned anything from TV, it's just like, you can deal drugs if your life is somewhat bad. And they reference like Breaking Bad and weeds and all that. And then Velma's like, all those people are white, Daphne. Oh, the only time that a minority sells drugs is to get out of poverty on TV.
That's just typical Mindy Kaling humor is the other thing, because Mindy Kaling seems to just not like white people is the other thing.
And also, like, one of the worst ones was they're trying to be cute and because Velma has this thing. If you see all those like hands around her, she has this fucking internal conflict where anytime she's trying to solve mysteries, she starts to have like near fatal hallucinations where it's close to her having a heart attack. This is a plot point in the show. And they talk about it so blandly, even though it's like the most intense moments in the show when she's having these panic attacks. And they're just like, well, what about your near fatal hallucinations? It's never set up. She just states that she has them. And then she just starts having them. Nothing in this show sounds like a human wrote it. And it's just so dumb. And the other thing is, no character is charming. I don't know who to blame here. But it feels like every show wants to write every person wants to write a show with repugnant characters that are still likable. They watch It's Always Sunny.
What this super old Zero Punctuation where Yahtzee talks about webtoons and he makes fun of the self-insertion snarky dick protagonist who nevertheless is liked by everybody.
Yes, here's the thing.
I need to link this video now because
Velma's the unpopular kid and everything, even though it seems like everyone wants to fuck her because self-insert, I guess. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Everyone wants to fuck each other in this show because because Velma has a crush on Fred, Shaggy has a crush on Velma, Daphne's dating Fred but also likes Velma. Velma likes Daphne. I would respect this show so much if the ending of this show is that they become a polycule. I
miss the dog.
Yeah,
that's all I'm thinking.
You really wanted to have a dog in this poly thing?
No, I just miss having a fucking dog because this is a cartoon.
Yeah, but the thing is just okay. But yeah, the characters. It's just I feel like they watch It's Always Sunny, and they're like, hey, these characters are repugnant people. We're gonna write something like that, or Rick and Morty, or something like that.
Let me talk about this because I brought this up when the Velma stuff was going on.
Go ahead. I need a moment. I'm getting mad.
When all this Velma shit was going on, I had pointed out, because I watched the trailer, I hated it like a lot of people did. And my biggest thing is I am so tired of cynical ass meta adult animation. I'm so tired of it.
It's so everything is like, hey, we're meta. We know everything. This. And I'm just like, it's like, aren't people exhausted at this?
Everything.
Why are people allergic to genuineness?
My biggest thing that I blame about this, I did a whole thread about this when talking about Velma. I said I 100%, well 80%, I 80% blame Rick and Morty, because if Rick and Morty didn't go nearly as mainstream as it did, we would not have nearly as many things trying to be like it. Yeah, because we have Hoops and Paradise PD and this and like, there's so many.
Here's the thing, I'm gonna give Rick and Morty this. At least they show times where Rick has a soul.
That's what I'm saying. Is they're trying to be like Rick and Morty without getting it.
It's Always Sunny. There is moments where you actually see that the characters have like some kind of heart. Like it's buried under a lot of shit, But you notice that, like, Frank cares for Charlie Day's character. There's the entire coming out dance that one of the main characters does in prison that has the whole, like, I get it now meme, which is one of the most, like, beautiful moments in It's Always Sunny, where you're almost like, why is this in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Well, because...
But I'll let you speak.
No. I was just like, wait, who's
let
going
me be
first?
in my angry dome.
Who's drawing?
But it's just like, none of the characters are likable in Velma. Velma is the worst one. There is not a moment where I was like, oh, she's funny, or I can understand why her and Daphne were friends, or why Shaggy has a crush on her. She's so unlikable. Everything she says is just mean. She's just a dick. And not in a funny way. There's like a whole thing where she has to try to deal drugs to people. And she's just so like... I don't know a better way to say this. She's just mean for the sake of being mean. And there's no narrative purpose to it. Where it's like, I understand why you're bullied. Like, it's like that scene in 30 Rock where Tina Fey's character finds out that why she was bullied as a kid was because she was actually a jerk. Except there's no introspection there. And like, Daphne occasionally has a good moment, but I think that's just because Constance Wu plays her, and she's really good at playing at like just this really like angry person. If you've ever seen Fresh Off the Boat, she plays the mom and she's hilarious. Norville is the only one that has a soul. Like, there's a whole thing where he's trying to sell his kidney to get Velma $500 to try to get her to date him. I'm not going to explain why. Because spoilers, I guess. But he accidentally finds a criminal, and a bunch of stoners that watch his live streams where he eats food. Helps find the stoners, and when he gets the reward money, he's like, no, you keep it. The stoners actually found them. It wouldn't be right if I got the money for them discovering it. It's like, that is the one time in 2 episodes where a character actually did a morally upstanding thing. And like, Fred is a fucking man-child, and he's so unlikable. I fucking hate him. I am glad that they don't have Frank Welker play him, especially since they have a scene where because Fred is thought to be like a murderer, where they're like, oh, we're going to play up on the fact that he's not fully developed.
Is that the court scene that I've seen going around on Twitter?
Not just the court scene. It's the scene where he comes out of the car and he's dressed like a little boy and he talks in uwu baby speak,
okay.
Which if people know me, of all people, you know how much I love when adult-looking characters act like children. And I was just... But then the one good visual gag, the rain comes down, and, you know, Fred's a little blonde-haired shit, so his hair starts to get matted down, and then one of the fake eyelashes he wears goes here. Oops. You can guess what he looks like.
Oopsie.
And I'm just yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll finish up because
I mean, I'm so close from turning on the spoiler warning because you explained half the plot of that season.
It's not even a season. It's only 2 episodes.
No, here's the thing. Also, there's so much that I have not talked about that happens. So much happens in these episodes that nothing feels earned. Like, and it's just like, the episodes are very dense and not in a good way. If you like the show, good for you. And the show looks very pretty. Kudos to the artists. They were pulling all their stops for it. I'm so mad that this is one of the best looking Scooby-Doo shows. And I'm putting Scooby-Doo in quotation marks. I'm going to keep watching it, not legally, to give it like a chance. It doesn't need my help. It's the biggest premiere on HBO Max.
The biggest animated series premiere.
Yeah, we need to make sure Clone High beats it.
Can we? I need to talk about this real quick. Can we stop hate watching things?
No.
I'm so tired of that.
Look, I'm
because
not
everybody
watching it on
complains
HBO
about
Max.
shows like this, and then they end up being like the biggest premiere that week on Netflix or something. I'm like, yeah, because if you stop talking about it, then people aren't going to watch it.
I will have you know, I don't watch it on the means that they could actually put me in a statistic. But like, look, maybe the show gets better. I know that I got annoyed with Harley Quinn for a long time, and it does the same meta bullshit. And it's like, but Harley Quinn won me back over. So I don't know. The streaming format has given me terrible first impressions, and then I like the show afterwards. So I don't know. This is nothing against the people who work on the show, except maybe the executives. Because I know people who have worked on the show, and they had a great time working on it. I'm glad you did. But this show is not my vibe at all. But I guess if you want to give it a chance, the first 2 episodes are out. If you like Rick and Morty and like cynical meta shows, you'll like this. It's not. I'm exhausted by it, and maybe I'm not the audience.
Space.
I'm not the audience for it. I'm not the audience for it because I'm so fatigued with meta humor.
Again, I just want more things like Final Space or BoJack or Primal. I'm so tired of everything trying to be like Rick and Morty.
And I will have you guys know, I will make Max watch Velma.
I was about to say, I'm so afraid that we watch this on TV time and I would sincerely like it. I'm so afraid of it.
No, here's the thing. I kind of want I want to watch it with someone because if they like it, I want to understand what they see in it.
Well, I remember when me and you and some others watched Scoob, I didn't care for it, but you liked it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I need to see the other side because at least you heard me out with why I like Scoob. I need to hear someone out of why they like Velma. But yeah. There you go. I know Enigma's been waiting for a Chrissy rant for a while. So there you go.
Yeah, and,
you know what? Out of happiness, I'm going to just show a piece of art that I've been working on because this makes me feel joy. I got into acrylic pouring, so I've started doing that, and then I paint over it with characters. I'm going to be selling these at Anthro-Expo. I have a whole table full of acrylic pours I did on stream, and it was fun and therapeutic, and it filled my heart with joy, unlike Velma. So, yeah, maybe during the post show I'll show them off. But till then, let's get to the Q&As because I need to laugh. Because Lord knows I didn't during Velma.
I need happiness in my life.
Well then,
anyways, let's talk about the art of the week. Yes. Look at that cute little man.
It is like 100 years old. This is from the day when Gray Silvermane was still doing... I believe he's now officially working professionally as an artist, right? Which is why he doesn't put stuff out for free on the internet anymore. But this is from the good old days when he was just still... I mean, what did he do? Was he studying?
He was doing freelance. Yeah. Like, he was working at a studio, but it was like a freelance thing. Oh, Vash asked, what did you miss? You don't want to know. Chrissy needs anger management is what happened.
But yeah, this picture... long from before I actually owned ferrets, but I already had picked ferret as my persona. So somewhere in the tiny window of late 2014 and mid 2020. How long do we have the boys? 21.
Yeah.
So yeah, in this very narrow window of more than half a decade, this picture was drawn. Spur of a moment, I guess. There was a picture going around of a photo of an actual ferret stuck in a tube and going like, ah!
Which, by the way, if that happens to your ferrets, get them out immediately because that's not good.
Probably not. The picture is funny, but
it's a cute image, but it's like depending on how tight the toilet paper tube is, they could have trouble getting out, and it could like hurt their skin. But however, apparently that picture, it was able to slide out. I mean, ferrets for the most part are liquid.
Exactly.
They could just get scared and sometimes try to push out this way instead of going backwards, and that's what causes the problem because their bodies are liquid, not their little haunchies.
Oh yeah, I know the thing where they try to going backwards. Yeah. But yeah, this picture, it inspired Silver back then, and he drew it with my persona, and I love it. And I believe it has never been featured as Art of the Week. Maybe in very early years of the show.
Maybe.
We can nowadays talk about early years of the AWKWARDCast.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at my tweet where I showed off my new hair dye, which... Why do I even try to make art and content anymore? If I put my face on the internet, that's what gets the most likes. This fucking tweet of just me taking selfies has 413 likes. What's
because
wrong
your
with
hair
people?
looks fucking awesome.
I mean, I did have one person message me being like, "Are you topless in this photo?" It's like, no, that
you can see
I'm actually wearing the shawl that Denim gifted me for Christmas because I get very warm very quickly. I tend to just kind of wear it like a shirt. You can wrap it around yourself. Fucking perverts. But but no, it's just that it shows that it has 2 quote tweets, but one of them's not visible, which means someone private quote tweeted me, and I need to know who's the coward. Who's the coward? But also, yes, thank you for the compliments on my hair. I'm very glad that people like it. I was tired of looking depressed. Do we have any questions on Twitter, by the way?
We do. Even though I have the feeling the first one doesn't really qualify as a question. It's more a statement, but it's topical. It directly relates to what we just talked about. By Waddles. If you really want a good adult version of Scooby-Doo, watch a crossover episode of Supernatural called Scooby-Natural.
Oh, Scooby-Natural, so good,
so good. I've never watched an episode of that show, nor do I care, but that episode was so good.
Oh, yeah, because the basic plot is just a quick elevator pitch. The basic plot is that the Supernatural team get teleported into an episode of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? By a ghost. And it's an actual episode of Where Are You? And but the thing is that the murder and everything becomes really real because the ghosts are real now. And they essentially have to stop the Mystery Inc. gang from having an existential crisis because you're telling these 60s cartoon characters that ghosts and everything are real and not real estate agents in masks. And it's actually really fucking funny. I'm sorry, my headphones are falling apart.
I was gonna say, I saw your headphone was bending like this.
I don't know what happened. My head is probably just too big. And I just need to get some tape. Because these still work. It's just the plastic is breaking apart. Thank you,
I think that
supposedly
might be the same
quality
headphones I have, actually.
Yes, thank you, supposedly high-quality studio headphones, for having plastic that breaks apart after 2 years.
I was gonna say, if you want adult Scooby-Doo, that just watch Mystery Incorporated or Scooby-Natural.
You just have to get through the first 10 episodes where they very poorly handle Shaggy and Velma's relationship.
It's I don't know. It didn't bother me nearly as much. It's the one big
flaw, though I do know a certain person who's very annoyed by Fred in that show, and I have to keep reminding it gets better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I still have the tab open. We're on episode 4 or something.
I know. I'm just saying, you are the only person I know who doesn't like Fred from Mystery Incorporated from the get-go. Because a lot of people are like, oh, he's a precious himbo. But I mean, you literally own a himbo, so...
Exactly. My standards are higher, I guess.
Your standards are Fred versus Ferret.
But
just
yeah,
saying,
I guess...
After you watch Velma, you'll appreciate the Fred and Mystery Incorporated more.
Well, that's a statement. But yeah, I guess this not question still got us talking, so I guess to Discord.
To Discord, yes. So Def Alchemist asks, I like this question. Favorite Muppet or non-Muppet puppet character?
Oh my god, I have the perfect shirt!
Yeah. So I guess any Henson Factory character, I guess, can count there. Plus any extra puppety characters, but what character's not made by the Henson Factory?
The market is pretty much cornered.
I'm trying to think because there's because it says character. Because if it was character design, it would probably be the
Dark
Skeksis.
Crystal characters or something.
Yeah, because but the Dark Crystal characters don't have much character besides going.
Have you watched the Netflix show?
Unless you're talking about the Netflix show. The Netflix show was fantastic. So
where the
Emmy-winning canceled show, Netflix.
Yeah, where the
but
gets a little bit of Mark Hamill goodness.
Like
yes, Michael, what's your favorite Muppet or Muppet adjacent?
Oh, it's Gonzo. Gonzo's my absolute favorite Muppet. Like I don't know. There's just something about Gonzo I've always really, really liked. If I can think of like a non-Muppet, or like I guess a non-Henson puppet character, I don't know. I fucking love Falcor.
Never ending story.
There's that.
Never ending story.
There's like one other I had off the top of my head, but now I can't remember it. Because there was like a Audrey 2 in Little Shop.
Ooh.
I can't believe I didn't
that
even
is
think
also,
of that.
but that is a Henson Creature Factory character, so we are back at square one.
I thought Frank Oz just got some of the people from Henson's company. I didn't think they actually worked on it.
Well, remember, Creature Factory has worked on the fucking Henson Creature Factory is making the animatronics and puppets for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
I cannot wait to see what those look like.
I cannot wait to see. I can't wait to see Shaggy as the purple guy.
Did you know that's Matthew Lillard's first like wide released theatrical film in like over a decade?
I'm not surprised.
He's been in like no theatrical film since like 2012.
Why does he need to? He's Shaggy. He gets a paycheck by breathing. But like, but no. Okay, Max, what's your favorite Muppet?
I'm still working on it.
All right, I will pick one so you can stall. Probably, like, if we went by Muppets, like Muppet movie Muppets, probably Gonzo. Gonzo and Rizzo are like my favorite duo, and I'm sad that because Steve Whitmer's not around that they don't really use Rizzo anymore.
They acknowledged him for like the first time in 2 years in that Haunted Mansion special. Like they have not acknowledged him at all before that.
But like Gonzo's one of my favorites, and I guess outside of that, I mean, I love Little Shop of Horrors, so Audrey 2 is fantastic. God, I need to pick something that makes me unique from fucking Michael.
my other big...
okay. I mean, like, I do, because, you know, I was one of those kids, you know, I grew up with Sesame Street, so Oscar the Grouch is one of my favorites. I love that crumpy old man. With his little pet worm.
Oh, was it Squirmy?
Squirmy the Wormy. Yes, but yeah, like, I mean, I also just genuinely liked Elmo as well. I thought he was cute. And
I have like so many Jim Henson related books on my shelf. Like I am such a I am probably the biggest Muppet person most people know.
I have a bunch of Jim Henson books as well. I love Jim Henson. There's a museum in Brooklyn that I'm planning to take.
I want to go to it so bad.
There's a dedicated Muppet part of that exhibit. So
I have been to the Jim Henson exhibit at the Puppet Museum in Atlanta, which is also really cool. But I want to go to the Museum of the Moving Films, the Moving Image, so bad because of that exhibit.
I've been there so many times. It's such a great one. Okay, did you pick one, Max?
Yes, I did. So, in tradition of me being a big fan of subversion, unlike Velma, a good subversion, who is taking parody, or is taking source material, parodying it, but still with love and passion.
Is it Team America?
No. I had a
Wonder Chosen. Wonder Chosen.
Doesn't even ring a bell. Sorry. No.
Just because it has a German name does not mean that he knows it, Michael.
I didn't even say that. I was just thinking of that blue puppet. It's like, I love you. From Wonder Chosen.
He isn't Chris. He isn't Chris. He can't think of something else around me than German reference.
Your ethnicity?
Yeah, exactly.
But okay, what is it? What is it?
Specifically, the Bad Idea Bears from Avenue Q.
Oh, I forgot about Avenue Q.
I've never watched anything of Avenue Q except for like
it's
two
glorious.
numbers.
It's like, yeah, again, subversion.
I wish there was a pro shot of Avenue Q because it's such a.
That amazes me. There's never been a taping like DVD.
There probably is. Here's the thing: most Broadway shows have pro shots made. They just never get released, and that annoys me. Yeah. But yeah, the Bad Idea Bears are. She's wasted. Take her home. Yay! I am so mad because the year that I moved away from Bloomington, they were doing a community theater performance of Avenue Q, and they had open auditions, and I was 18. I could have been a Bad Idea Bear. But then, my life fell apart because I would love it if someone ever asked the question, if there's a stage role you could play, like you could just pick one and they'll put you on Broadway, what would you be? I would probably pick something from Avenue Q. That or the Kate Monster Lucy the Slut double role.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love Lucy the Slut. She's great.
She is, but she's also intentionally ugly.
I know, but that says nothing about my looks. It's just about being a fun performance.
Oh yeah. But yeah, those are the Bad Idea Bears because I have the feeling that it might be too obscure for. Oh my god, why I have the pictures of Lucy naked? I mean, she's a slut.
She is the slut.
Her name is Lucy the Slut, star of Girls Gone Wild 2, 4, and 6.
I see you already learned your character lines.
I have wanted to cover the song Special for years because I just love that musical so much. I mean, yeah, look at her, she's disgusting. I love her.
I remember because Gary Coleman, I know, is a character in the show, and I guess the year or two before he had passed away, I guess he had been in negotiations to actually play himself in Avenue Q. Because I guess he had been very mixed about it for a long time. I mean, obviously, how they portray him. But I think that he had said that they were in negotiations to actually have him in the show. But he had passed away before anything had gone further.
Oh well. But
Anyways.
yeah, Avenue Q, still fantastic musical. Full of good stuff. That was the answer to the question, and I was the final one, wasn't I?
Yes.
So back to Twitter. Of
Yay.
course, it would not be AWKWARDCast without a Jaywalk's Would You Rather.
Ooh.
Would you rather be an unimportant character in the last movie you saw, which would in my case be Slumberland, or an unimportant character in the last book you read?
Movie.
Does audiobook count as reading?
No, that is not. Audiobooks are for the sheer purpose of avoiding reading.
This reminds me of an old Harry Partridge animation. I think it's privated. I don't think you can find it anymore. Ooh, but I remember. Why is my throat getting bad? I think it was called Larry the Minor Character, and it was just a theme song for a television show about a character named Larry the Minor Character, and it's just the song is just explaining why he's not the main character of the show, even though the show's named after him.
Excellent.
And that's all I'm thinking about with this question.
What
okay,
about
so what's
manga?
what was the beginning? Okay, manga counts. You do have to read manga. So what was the beginning of the question?
Would you rather be an unimportant character in the last movie you saw, or an unimportant character in the last book you read?
What was the last movie I watched?
Saw.
I just watched a movie in my server. What did I watch? Oh no. Was it Akira? We just watched Akira not too long ago. I don't want to be an extra.
Oh no,
an
an unimportant character in Akira just means you get sucked up into the.
I don't want to be an extra.
That makes a lot of sense. So quick, what was the last book you read? Was it better?
I'm reading James Rolfe's autobiography, which I don't think I would really even do much in that book.
I mean,
but
if you become an unimportant self-insert into James Rolfe's life.
What does this make you? Is that guy with the glasses lower tier
No!
guy? Put me into Akira any day, but not that!
I already look enough like Doug Walker. What's the trade-up? Am I Doug Walker or am I dead in Akira? What's the trade?
What was the last movie I watched?
Wait. The last movie I watched was actually the Aqua Teen movie. So no, I'm in the clear. But I'll still probably die in that
I was
world.
about to say.
I'd still probably die.
So.
What's the last Oh no! I remember the last movie I watched.
Oh no, what was it?
To wash the taste of Velma out of my mouth, I watched Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. If you've ever watched Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, what happens to a lot of the minor characters is that you find out that they got sent to the fucking plantation and became a zombie.
Well, you could be one of the minor characters in the opening 20 minutes. You could be one of the guys
that get unmasked and send the gang into a depression because they can't.
You could work at Velma's bookstore.
You know what? I'm fine with that.
Or you could be like one of the camera guys with Fred.
I mean, it was minor character, not background propped.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying, when I think of Zombie Island, I think of all the people that died and turned into zombies. So I'm just imagining me in fucking terror time as a zombie trying to grab the life force out of fucking Shaggy.
Well, so you could also be a cat person.
Or alternatively, whatever you read last. What did you read last?
What did I read last? I think I read a... Oh, no. I read the fucking Speed Buggy Flash comic crossover that my friend Gerber recommended me.
Oh,
where
I
the whole origin story... The origin story of Speed Buggy and that he's a scientist that got infused with a car's DNA. Am I Speed Buggy in that?
That's like why is that like just the same origin as Turbo Teen? That's like the exact same origin.
Basically, but like in that world, I'm either Barry Gordon or I'm fucking Speed Buggy. I don't know which one is better.
Well, let's see, the car or a human? What's worse?
I know, but Barry Gordon gets fucked over a lot. So it's just...
I guess I'm the only one.
I guess the comic book, because I don't want to be dead.
Yeah, I guess I'm also having an easier answer. Yeah. Because I'm still trying to figure out how does the last book you read kind of thing counts. Like the last thing I actually concluded, which will be difficult because I'm currently reading a lot of ongoing series. Or the last issue that I concluded of something. Then I guess if it's the last issue, then it would be one of Sandman. So yeah, look forward to that future media on my end. And here in Sandman also, the side characters have a very high mortality rate, while on the other hand I watched Slumberland, which is like, yeah, you hang out in dreams, you get to chill with Jason Momoa. Definitely.
Teeth fall out.
I mean, did they talk about it? But it doesn't seem... I mean, apparently it doesn't happen to me, so I...
Why is it like both of the things that you watch and are reading have to do with sleep? Like both of them.
I mean, I also have a few other... Call of the Night, which is about insomnia, is a manga.
You have Slumberland, you have Sandman, and you have Call of the Night. They all have like sleep.
You're not helping your case here. So
wait. What else am I reading? Or listening to or whatever. Yeah,
I still need to read those. I've had like 2 volumes of Sandman on my shelf for a while. I still. But
yeah, so there's your answer. So back to Discord.
Yes, and that's where we are going to stay.
Okay, no brain. Head empty, send water asks. Thanks, Odie. Off the top of your head, what's a good episode of a bad show you've seen? Oh, what's a good episode of Ladybug?
I don't want to pull like the Foster's Home thing out because that's too easy. I'm trying to think. What's a show with a very bad episode that I like?
No. It was what's a good episode of a bad show?
Oh, I thought it was a bad episode of a good show.
Now,
it's the inverse.
In this context, does Harley Quinn count as a good show or a bad show?
I mean, I don't like Harley Quinn, but
yeah. So if your preference is that it's not a...
When did you start disliking it? First season or second season?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
First season. I only watched like 6 episodes and I didn't like it.
Oh, so you already disliked it before it became bad, even from our point of view.
I didn't like the pilot. Like that was just kind of like, it has a lot of the shit in adult animation I don't like, and also I just do not like how they handle a lot of satirizing these characters.
Which is absolutely fair. A good episode of a bad show.
The problem is that I don't stick with bad shows if they're bad.
You fool!
Like that's the
if
thing. I don't with bad TV shows.
With this attitude, we would have never watched a high-rise invasion to the point where Ladybug and Cat Noir are back as, what was it, mother and son? No. There was some weird, the same voice actors were meeting again in high-rise invasion, but it's completely different with a completely different dynamic, which made it kind of weird.
Can I say bad episode of a show that used to be good and then became bad?
Sure, go ahead.
It became bad in the end.
There is one episode of the late seasons of Fairly Odd Parents that I genuinely really like.
And that is?
I think it's an episode called Food Fight. And it's the whole premise of the episode is that Timmy's mom is a horrendous cook. So he wishes that she would be an amazing, like her cook literally, like her food kills people. It's that terrible.
Everything
and I don't mean like it
dies.
No, and I don't mean it's so bad that it kills people. I mean it is so bad that it comes alive and attacks people. But what happens is he wishes that she's like the best cook in the world. So she now is so good at cooking that now she has no time for her family. And it turns out that Timmy's dad has been throwing all of her food in a giant storage facility that he has under the house. So now there are like tribes and monsters living under their house just made of her food. And it's like the only recent Fairly Odd Parents episode that I've actually enjoyed.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a good episode of a bad show.
That's the thing. Again, I don't stick with bad shows.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, There are some, like, Ladybug kind of hate-watchy.
The thing is that Ladybug sometimes has the signs of a good show somewhere.
Yeah, but it is a bad show.
That's my problem. That's my problem with Harley Quinn when I was watching it. Is I'm like, it's not terrible, and there's signs of this being good. They just do too many things that annoy me.
The thing is that when we got into like season 2, there comes a point where we've invested so much time. I want to see where this goes.
I mean, I could say something about Make Your Mark, but then our audience would kill us, or at least me.
What? I mean, we know that you don't like the Gen 5 show so far.
Yes.
So like,
and the YouTube shows are even worse, but there isn't even a good one, so can't speak on it.
You're wrong.
Controversial take. You're welcome.
Honestly, I don't know what's the more controversial take, that I like the YouTube shorts or that you dislike them. I've seen so many differing opinions. Okay, probably there was recently an episode of Ladybug that we watched and we were like,
yeah.
That was actually, well, that's the thing. A lot of the newer episodes are actually like building up lore, and we're like, oh wow, damn it.
But the execution is still shit.
I know, but there was an episode recently where Cat Noir and Marinette go on a date, and it was actually like treated with decent drama, and it's like, why are you deciding now to actually take things seriously? You were the show that had an episode a few days ago where someone's main dream was being a pickle. Like,
okay. Here's something. I can provide a bad show, and then I need help finding the good episode in it.
Okay.
Cowboy Bebop live adaptation. I have the feeling there must have been something good in there, right?
Or no,
I haven't watched it. Why would I watch it?
No, there isn't. There isn't anything good in the live action.
I have
Cowboy
a perfectly
Bebop.
good animated show right here. I don't need to watch it.
I have this perfectly good cake. Why do I want this frozen dinner?
Was there a good episode in Seven Deadly Sins? It is years ago that I watched it, so I don't think so.
I gotta say, I thought a lot of people liked that show.
A lot of people have been looking at it now and being like, wow, there's a lot of sexual assault and incest.
We talked about jailbait earlier. This is just straight out
I mean, I know nothing about it. I just remember I know nothing about it. I just remember it was very, very popular.
You know the joke of like animes where like there's 12-year-olds that look like they're 1,000-year-olds that look 12.
They have both directions in there.
Yeah, they have 12-year-olds that look like they're 1,000 years old. When you take away the cool-looking fight scenes, it's a lot of creep. But okay, there has to be something.
But yeah, I guess at the end of the day, we don't
Was there a good episode of High Rise Invasion?
I mean, there was some nice action in it, but anything that qualifies as a good episode? But
what about... I guess you could do Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn is not great. I think we've had enough criticisms of Harley Quinn when we were watching it that it can quantify as not a good show.
Ooh. Does Close Enough count?
What?
He doesn't like Close Enough.
I personally
didn't
connect. I personally didn't connect with it.
Fine.
I wouldn't call it.
If you personally do not like, this is such a subjective question because it requires us thinking like, what is a bad show? Because I don't like Wednesday, but I can't say that it's a bad show on an objective standard.
Like what? And and again, my thing of if it's a terrible show, I don't stick with it. Like that's the other thing.
But okay, what's a good episode of Close Enough to you, Max?
Good, but I only watched it once a while ago. I dug this for myself, didn't I?
Yes.
I'm just going through Netflix and looking.
How about we just say he doesn't have one?
I mean, this is so far just exposing him to our audience of shows that he doesn't like that are beloved by a bunch of people.
Big Mouth. Big Mouth is a bad show, right? But
yes, Big Mouth is a bad show.
Recall if it has a good episode. It must have some, right?
I always tell people, don't watch. What's that spin-off show that they made?
Human Resources.
It's honestly way better.
Yes, the best episode of Big Mouth is a spin-off show that doesn't have the middle schoolers in it.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why it's a better show is because it takes out the biggest elephant in the room of the show.
Yeah. But okay, so we're going to move on from this question because this is just becoming an expose of Max's taste.
And I actually have to get going in a bit. So
then
that's
we
kind of
really
my other thing.
So we can just do the FMK now.
Okie dokie, let's go for it.
All right, snagging the FMK because I can. Fuck, marry, kill. The weather. Warm sunshine, snowy days, like chilly snow, and wet rain. The wet rain is an oxymoron. When has rain been dry?
Would you like some moist rain?
No, I prefer my rain like white wine, dry with a flowery note. Okay, but so sunny days, snowy days, and rainy days. I thought this would be a fun and unique idea. Hope you like it.
Kill, sunny, snowy, rainy.
Well, you're the guest. You get to go first.
Yes. Well, we'll judge on the goodness of the idea afterwards.
I guess it also depends on how hot.
And then Max gets to go last this episode.
Is it like a nice spring day or is it like a hellish summer?
I guess there's a little bit of a real room for you to decide.
Yeah.
When you explain why you picked this one. I'm
gonna say if it's a nice spring summer day, that's a fuck.
Okay.
If I'm going to marry the snow.
Why?
I'm going to kill the rain.
You just need to give explanations. You cannot just say this kind of stuff.
I just think that a nice spring day that's very sunny, it's not something that I do not go out in the sun very often, as you can tell.
I'm shocked.
But if I could go for a walk, it would be on a nice spring day. And like a nice 70, 68 degree spring day.
I have the feeling this analogy will horribly go bad. So you like your sex like you like a nice walk in spring.
Pleasant.
Pleasant, yes. I like it being pleasant. Thank you, Chris.
With flowers, flowery, pleasant.
Hey, that sounds romantic. Romantic
I guess.
sex.
Sorry, but yeah, okay.
I would marry snow. I would marry snow because I love snow. Snow is beautiful. I love it. I love just looking at snow. Kill rain. I hate rain. Rain makes me depressed, and I don't like it being wet.
Okay, I dare to say this is probably a reason where some partners would wish they would be talked about as lovingly as you talk about snow. So that counts.
All right, so.
And yeah, rain depression also counts.
So, okay, I am going to marry the sunshine because, well, I live in California. Besides the immense amounts of rain we've gotten recently, the sun has been a constant. And you know what? Most times I travel for my birthday, for some reason the weather decides to pick for it to be rainy on my birthday. If I'm married to the sun, then I can change that. I could have sunshine on my birthday. So I can just have a sunny day whenever I want. That sounds like a great deal. You can't really do a gold digger answer with weather unless you believe like the Rockefeller theory that they control the weather, but I don't. I'm going to fuck the rain because it's wet. I'm sorry, easy answer there, but like, look, it's the rain makes things wet and slippery and messy, and
that's why I don't like rain.
But yes, but isn't that the appeal of just the wet, down and dirty grossness of sex? I
just want to apologize to all the asexuals in the audience. Chrissy is not always like that.
I was about to say that, like, how I described it made probably ace people be like, man, I'm glad I'm not into that.
I'm not even ace, and you just gave me the equivalent of describing sex with the word moist. That's how I feel right now.
What's the level above, like, the level below flaccid where you're just retracting? There's erection, there's flaccid, and then there's retract.
There's implosion.
Odie,
oh no.
Give up, Odie. There is no safe word.
But okay, and then I'm going to kill the snow because I hate the cold. Anyone who's met me knows that I despise the cold. I'm always cold. My hands and my feet every night feel like ice cubes, and it causes problems for whoever I'm in bed with. And I have to make it their problem. I'm cold, and I'm prepared to make it everyone's problem. And part of that is snow. I'm from the Northeast. I can tolerate it. Doesn't mean I like it. I'm past the stage of tolerating people and concepts. I'm in my I'm gonna fuck shit up era, so I'm gonna take a flamethrower and melt the ice cap.
Fuck shit up era.
Yes.
Did it ever truly go away?
No, it just started. I've been too much in my people pleasing era. Now it's time to fuck shit up verily. But so yeah, I'm gonna kill the snow. So, Max, you're last.
I am. What a glorious selection is left for me. But it is exactly the selection I would have gone for anyways. That's how we approach this, right? So
that's how we eat our copium.
Exactly.
Yes.
I would have obviously killed the sun. I mean, the nice warm sun, because here's the thing. Technically, I like it. Nice warm weather, maybe even a little bit on the hot end, like chilling on the beach, gives you a nice reason to go out for a swim. But I never use it. I just stay inside, and I mean, you see.
It's why we're so white.
Exactly. And the fact that it still exists out there, and I'm missing out on it, is like a constant reminder of what I'm missing out on, quite literally. So I just kill it. So I don't have this constant reminder of
instead of stepping 3 feet out into into your backyard.
So instead of adjusting,
why are you white?
Well, that's a thing.
But okay, so you're gonna kill the sun.
Exactly, because if I can't have it, because it would be inconvenient to step out of my garden, nobody should. So I kill it, obviously. I'm gonna marry the rain because I do unironically like a good rain shower. It's like I remember
do you like a rain shower or do you like full-on thunderstorms? Because I love thunderstorms.
That's the other reason I don't like rain, because thunderstorms knock out my power.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but no, I also like a good thunderstorm. Like when it's really like going on, I often like I like going out on the balcony when I still had one, where it's still relatively protected, but being almost exposed to it. But I also had a glorious memory. There was like cats and dogs. It was like walls of rain, and I was off to visit somebody in the city, And I was like, just walking through. I was going down the shopping, the outside mall, basically. Everybody was like to the sides, hiding as much as they could under overhang. I'm in the middle of the street, like wet until wet all the way through, and like that's amazing. So yeah, I legitimately like rain, and therefore marrying.
Okay, so why are you sticking your dick in the snow?
I mean, isn't this kind of obvious?
Blue balls.
No,
that's
the opposite.
Frostbite.
No, no. Michael. The thing is, if you are as hot as me.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah, continue the statement.
If you are as hot as me, you can fuck snow and it will melt.
That sounds
well, to be
awful.
fair, it's not hard.
Also that.
It's like the Eskimo version of American Pie. Like American Snow.
It's like...
No, it's fucking a snow cone.
Frost V. Nixon.
Oh. Freeze dried.
Oh,
God, that's so awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. It's the awkward. Artwork and analysis which you do not want to miss on awkward.